Okay, so we have to talk about the ensuing discussions that have been going around these two fan bases. Because when it comes to Columbus Blue Jackets superstar forward Patrik Laine, we have ourselves a few discussions that have popped around social media discourse and a few other written sources regarding some specific teams. Now, I wanted to go out there and talk about two of them in particular because they were kind of linked together in a way. It's not really the most guaranteed thing, but I do like these ideas in tandem. We're talking about Patrik Laine and the idea of him getting traded to Montreal, as well as the idea of him getting traded to Pittsburgh. We've got two sources here that I wanted to refer to, and normally, because I do primarily make Canadiens videos, we'd start out with the Habs stuff, but because we got a little bit of a different flavor here, let's go over to Pittsburgh hockey now, because an article published by Dan Kaniarski from yesterday goes out there and talks about how Patrik Laine is a huge opportunity for the Penguins to pounce on. Great verb. I like that. Now, what I like about this piece is it doesn't try to sell you on Patrik Laine, the player, right off the bat. The analysis as to what Laine is and what he could be comes later, but the article opens up by saying this, that Pittsburgh Penguins hockey of operations and GM Kyle Dubas is no dummy. He likes to play the odds and find values that others missed. Last summer, he flexed some creative deal-making when he swiped the reigning Norris winner for a package of players and picks far below market value. Come on, regardless of Erik Karlsson's first season with the Penguins, giving up only a first and a second-round pick for the top D-man while trading Mikael Granlund and Jeff Petrie without spending additional assets was a brilliant stroke. The NHL trade rumors never predicted the comparatively paltry overall value of what the Penguins sent away for Carlsson. Now, pause before we go into the next part about this article. I do want to give Dubas some props, because even in his days in Toronto, I will say that when it comes to strictly trades and creativity and being able to work things out, some 3-team deals, some regular trades with the money and all the assets involved and stuff, I always felt that Kyle Dubas was a smart trader. A lot smarter than the normal GM because of how intricate he would get these trades in order to get what he wants. He would make 3-team trades, swapping around guys with double salary retained and everything, just to make it work. And the Erik Karlsson trade in particular, I would say, was one where the Penguins didn't really give up as much as they could have if you were to ask what a regular old analyst, TV person, or fan would say Erik Karlsson should have been worth. At least, the San Jose Sharks didn't really get too much in return either because it was a 3-team trade. Now, let's go back over to the piece here. Guess what? Dubas has another opportunity to do the same thing this summer, acquiring top talent while shedding valuable but unwanted assets and a minimal expenditure of future assets. However, this time, it will be the mirror opposite. It won't be a player at the top of his game, but a younger player who would hit the bottom. Patrik Laine. The article then goes out there and gives the Laine scouting report. Hey, he had 40 goals one season. Hey, he was a point per game the past 2 seasons. Hey, he was injured and in the player's assistance program this previous season. So Laine has a body of work that a lot of people would say is respectable. It's just, what are you really getting here? That's the big question. The guy's making $8.7 million a year till the end of 25-26. He is a power play specialist and sniper, and he doesn't really snipe as much as he had in the past, so where is his profile going to lie, and how does he rebound from the 9 points in 18 games he had this previous season? If Pittsburgh wants to try to take their shot at assessing that and giving Laine the next opportunity in his career, then they certainly could do that. But the article goes out there and says that there would be other glamorous cities than Pittsburgh without high-pressure media throngs. Vegas, LA, New York, Chicago, they all spring to mind, and there's no doubt a few of those teams would be interested in the Finnish winger. But those cities probably are not the best places for Laine to continue his recovery. Now, the next part of the article, Kaniarski says that the Penguins would be an ideal landing spot for Laine because their nightlife isn't really that big. Interesting point, I will say. I don't think that Laine is the kind of guy to go out there and do that, though. He seems more like a stay-at-home and play Fortnite kind of guy, which, is kind of confirmed already. But other than that, Patrik Laine, Kaniarski writes, would be greeted with what he needs, leadership and a couple of centers who can deliver scoring chances on a silver platter. The article takes a few shots at Columbus, saying that they don't have a center who could get the puck to Laine in the same way that a Sidney Crosby can, and then says that the benefits of a Laine trade to Pittsburgh could be far-reaching for both sides. While the Pens don't necessarily need a right wing, moving Rickard Rakell to the left side, thus creating a top 6 spot, would be easy enough. Laine's big frame lends itself to playing in the low zone, which he can do well, further adding to the Penguins' lurch for a gritty goal line play. There also is the conversation about power play help, and then the idea as to what Dubas could include in some sort of a deal. There's a lot extra here. You can go out there and read. It'll be linked in the description below. But what I also wanted to do in this video, aside from Montreal, hard segue, I know, but we're at the halfway point of the video, so I kind of have no choice, was talk about the idea of Patrik Laine and the Habs. For all the things that you could say the Pittsburgh Penguins could improve upon with a Patrik Laine in their lineup, you could say the exact same thing about Montreal. I'm sorry, but Nick Suzuki is probably better than a lot of the centers that the Columbus Blue Jackets have, and when it comes to opening up spots on the power play, if you wanted to load it up, put Laine on the point, have Caulfield on the left flank, Suzuki in the middle, Slavkovsky on the right side, and then Matheson up top, that could be a pretty interesting way to go about your power play, and these guys could definitely set Laine up in ways that he hasn't really been set up in the past. Goal scoring has always been his forte, except in the past few years or so. So you really want to get him back to that, right? That's the goal here, bring him back up to 40 goals, because we know he's capable of that. Montreal could provide that goal-scoring opportunity, but when it comes to Habs fan perspectives, this is where it gets a little bit all over the place. You see, Mark Dumont went out there and had this Twitter thread that he had replied to and talked about with a whole bunch of fans in the replies of Twitter. Take a look at this. It was Habs on Reddit who tweeted out, "Would you like to see a trade for the Canadiens with Patrik Laine? Let us see your proposals." Mark Dumont went out there and replied, saying given his history, his salary, and his production, is he a positive value player? Honest question. He should be, but at $8.7 million, I'm not sure that he is. Dumont's main argument here is that Laine is just a tad too expensive, and you don't know what you're getting in order to make that investment. One of the replies goes out there and asks, when's the last time that Laine was an effective NHL player? As much as this management group likes reclamation projects, I don't think he's the kind of player they want. To play devil's advocate, Dumont said, he was almost a point per game in 22-23. He also was a point per game player in 21-23. And he's just 26. There's some value there. I'm just not sure how much. Considering he'll take about 10% of the allotted salary cap next year, and that cap just went up a significant amount, I'm inclined to agree that he's not worth it at that price point. But the question is, what if you're actually able to get the best out of Laine? What is the best out of Laine at this point? If he is a 50-goal guy, let's say he gets 80 points or whatever, then all of a sudden you're fine with the $8.7 million price tag. It's okay. But the likelihood of that happening is so not guaranteed that is it really worth the risk? Dumont is saying it's not. A lot of other Canadiens fans are debating whether or not it would be or not either. Some do say yes, I will say, but most of those are very optimistic, and they're a lot more hopeful as to what it could look like if Laine was given top-line minutes, etc., etc. I will say it's like 50-50, if not even skewing in the direction of saying no, we don't want Laine, from most of the Montreal Canadiens fans I've been seeing, but either way, it is an interesting enough thought to go out there and bring up, because for Patrik Laine, he could be that reclamation project that Kent Hughes and co. are looking for. It's just, if that price tag stays the same, do you really want to go through with it? And furthermore, if you are a team like Columbus, what exactly is it that you want from Montreal to get this trade done? Honestly, you could bring up these same concerns for both the Penguins and the Canadiens, but of course, because the Penguins are a lot older, because they're a lot more supposed to be in contending mode right now kind of territory, you can justify trading $8.7 million onto your own cap because you need the guy to play for you right now who is already supposed to be good. If this is a pretty big Kyle Dubas masterclass fleecing the opposition move once more, then okay, hats off to you, Kyle Dubas. Let's see if we could pull it off again. But that is not guaranteed to get results, as we have seen with different versions of Kyle Dubas teams, whether you're talking about the Penguins this previous season or the Leafs in prior years. Either way, though, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're a Penguins fan or a Canadiens fan, what are your thoughts on the idea of Patrik Laine getting traded over to your teams? Do you like this idea? Do you not? And what do you think the trade price is? What do you give up? And if you're a Blue Jackets fan, what do you want to receive? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.